you go. That's our intro. Hello, guys. Welcome to episode 7 of Finally Sometime. With Edgar and Janera. We finally had some time, and it's been weeks now.
Yeah, more than a month. Maybe 2 months, has it?
No way. When's the last time we posted it?
I don't know. I can't get out of my thing right now. So
Same here.
I can't see. But it has been a while because we keep postponing it for sure.
Yeah, it's just trying to find that time to do it.
Right?
Yeah, it's hard. We literally went on vacation and we were like, oh, let's take some equipment so we could do it there.
Oh, yeah, because it was going to rain. So we took the RV out.
Yeah.
And, the weather kept changing. And we're like, oh, it's going to be super sunny that day. It'll be perfect. And then, oh, it's going to rain. And then it's not. Then it is.
Yeah, it literally said it wasn't. And then it was just like pouring.
Yeah, so we had to stay inside the RV, just chill. And so we're going to talk about finance this time, about money and tips and things that we do ourselves in our household to help us save money. And a lot of things that, again, like how I said just a minute ago, like that I personally thought was common sense that even Edgar didn't know about.
Yeah, I still don't know everything you know, babes. I definitely don't.
Gosh.
There's so much. And then especially when she comes out with like, oh, well, you could do this, and that. I'm like,
Whoa.
what?
No, but not only that, again, like I just said, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm no one. And so, this is just for entertainment purposes.
Yes, pretty much.
But in any case, so I worked at the bank for about 6 years back in the day. I did a little bit of accounting. I do have my accounting degree, my business degree, and
I have my YouTube degree.
Your YouTube degree, yes. I have my Google degree too. And just life in general, things that have been thrown in my life and our life that we've learned that we didn't know before, that we're like, oh my God, So stuff like that. So cool stuff. So by the way, guys, I found an energy drink that I'm obsessed with at Costco the other day. We're always at Costco. And I love it. It tastes literally like the icy from the movie theaters.
Cherry. Yeah, the cherry icy.
The cherry / icy. It tastes just like it. I'm obsessed. I can't get enough of it. And I'm only going to do one minimum. Not
Is
max.
your volume down on your phone?
Yeah, I can still hear it on your end. I don't know. What should we start first as far as finances and stuff? I don't know. There's so much to uncover.
There is. Are we going the Dave Ramsey route? Using his
I don't
advice?
know. There's some things I agree with Dave Ramsey, and for you guys that don't know who he is, he's very popular in the whole financial
world.
Yeah.
Well,
sector.
More like debt consolidation.
Yeah, he has his own TV show.
Yeah, it's called the Dave Ramsey Show.
Yeah, there you go. And podcast? I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff that I agree with and a lot of things I don't. But each to their own. I feel like certain things don't fit in everybody's life, but I get the concept he's trying to throw out there sometimes too. So I get both ways. But anywho, I do recommend you guys watch his show if you guys are needing any advice or just hearing other people's financial situations and how he talks about it and stuff.
Yeah. Just don't go it's up to you, really. If you want to go all out, verbatim, the way he does it, it's pretty intense. The whole rice and beans and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely it helps. But I went a little crazy.
Yeah.
And I got oh my God, no, I need to sell my stocks. I can't just keep my stocks. We need to pay off our debt. And
because we had credit card debt.
Yeah.
Again, under 0% interest. And this guy was super obsessed with Dave Ramsey at the time.
And it's because of that.
And he was if you have debt, you just need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
If you have the financial means to get rid of it. And he had a bunch of stocks. And he's I'm just going to cash them out and pay off our debts, which, yes, I get it. But in our situation specifically, no. We had a game plan where it would be paid off before that introductory rate or whatever was going to expire. So literally there was no interest whatsoever like we weren't losing anything having the debt there. There was zero interest. And his stocks, I already knew they were going to go up because of the type of stock he had and what was going on financially at the time. But he was very adamant about like, no, let's use stocks, pay it off. So again, that goes back to the whole like Dave Ramsey thing where he was saying like, you should pay it off if you have the financial means, don't have debt. I get it. But in our situation, it was not wise.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been the go-to, like, oh, yes, sell it and pay it off.
Yeah.
Even though he does say that on his show, he mentions it because you want to get rid of your debt.
Right.
The thing is, though, my stocks were so low back then, so I had to sell a few. Let's just say it was like, what, $5,000, right?
I don't remember. It was a couple thousand.
So a couple thousand. Those couple thousand right now are worth like a ton. A lot. And all because I paid off the credit card.
Yeah. So we lost potential money there.
Yeah,
so,
a lot.
Again, you just have to look at everything, your financial situation, and just be wise about it. Like, what is the best route long term? You know, not just like short term, but long term as well. Is this going to impact you future wise and everything? And we were in situations where literally we had owned a business, and in one day we only made 25 cents. It was the worst of the worst. Like, bad. We legit had to go on EBT. I had Jason; he was a baby, so I had WIC. Yeah, it was rough times. Like
very rough times.
Like I was penny pitching any little thing, and like it was bad. And till that day, I was like, never again are we gonna get this, you know, stuck in debt or whatever. Like,
and then live paycheck to paycheck kind of thing.
I can't do paycheck to paycheck anymore. Like, I don't know. I think that was like the roughest time period that we went through, especially with a little baby. Like, oh my gosh, like that was rough.
It's crazy because I hear stories about that. Like, it's always the first kid that like goes through like the crazy stuff or like the tough times, and then the second kid or third kid, they're like, oh no, I didn't have to deal with that. Like, yeah, look at this. This is our house now, and it's like they didn't have to go through that. And yeah, we didn't like struggle like. We were literally like, I don't know, going to donate blood or something like that. Like, we weren't in like that position.
Right.
But I mean,
we still had family to like help us and stuff like that, luckily.
And like, I mean, you start thinking like, well, what do we do?
Yeah.
How do we do it? How do we do it? I need to get a job. I need a better job, this and that.
Our insurance was through there and everything. Like, it was just rough, you know what I mean? But then we started getting opportunities. Well, I think you started getting opportunities. And
we closed down our store, right? Like,
yeah, we had to close it down. There was no way we could continue that route of that store because it was literally, we threw in all of our savings, all of our
my 401k.
Your 401k, we threw it at it.
Yeah.
Like, it was a really poor, not thought out decision as far as having that store. I can't hear myself. There you go. So yeah, that happened. And then from there on, I guess things got better, I guess you would say.
Well,
we're being more wise about the decisions we were making.
I mean, because even our, our insurance through that solar company.
Yeah.
Like, it was still expensive. So we had to like reduce it.
So you have to elaborate. So the solar, you worked at Solar City.
Oh, Solar City, yeah.
Well, a company, sorry, we already said it. But you worked for Solar City.
Yeah.
And just like any job, I mean, some jobs you could get health insurance a lot cheaper, and other jobs, like, it's pretty pricey.
Yeah.
And it's not even that great either sometimes, too. So that kind of sucks. It's like a double whammy there. But so, yeah, with his job, we're paying a ton. And I thought during that time, I was like, well, you know, Medi-Cal, was it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's way cheaper and stuff. Like, why don't we just stick with them and stuff? But then how did it really have, like, I think there was, like, a video I saw that, like, you can't be stuck in that mentality because you will never prosper if you have that mentality of, oh, it's, like, easier this way than working hard for it, you know? And, yeah, we literally were able to get off EPT, we were able to get off WIG, we were able to get off Medi-Cal and all that stuff. And it's going great now.
Yeah, I mean, we are definitely making wiser decisions because, like that video said, like it's not that you're okay. It is like it could be a money situation, but a lot of it is just a habit situation. If you're used to like, oh, whatever, I'm just gonna like use my credit card and just use my credit card, and you're not like being careful with it. Right. Because I mean, like, it's nothing wrong with like using a credit card and just paying it like instantly. Right. It's just say if you're trying to get points, which at one point it's like.
I mean, you do get cash back, but again.
Yeah, but it's 1%. Like, really? Like, oh, well, I made the Dave Ramsey way. Like, nobody made millions with their cash back.
Very true.
Nobody makes that much money. Like, you had to spend, what, $10,000 to get, what, $100? What's 1%?
Is it really? Yeah.
$10,000 to get $100.
Oh, I can't think right now. Yeah.
Same thing. You had to spend $100,000 to get $1,000. Like,
yeah, that's a lot of money.
Who does that? Like, nobody makes a profit. Like,
I mean, if you were to pay like your big bills that you're going to pay, like groceries, put it on the credit card just to get the points. Yeah. And then right away, as soon as you leave the grocery store after you swiped it, pay it off. Exactly that same day. Just so you could snag the points, cool. But don't make it a habit like, oh, I'll pay on my next paycheck. It's like, no, that's where the bad habits start coming in. Yeah. Because then you're like, oh, next paycheck. And then that next paycheck comes around. And you think, oh, I still have all this money. But in reality.
Something happened, let's just say.
Something else happened, yeah. And then something else happens. And then you're like, oh, crap, I'll just put it on my credit card again. And it just keeps going, you know? Yeah. So it's not wise to use credit cards in that aspect. You know what I mean? Another thing that I noticed when we were buying our house that I wasn't aware of at the time is like, one is the interest rate. Yeah. And then two, property taxes. Okay.
Like, and it's funny because they don't mention it right there and then, right? Like, this is on your bill. Or do they?
Yeah. They do show it? They give it to you. I forgot what's it called. Oh, okay. There's a certain sheet that, oh gosh, I forgot what it's called. But they do disclose it to you. But what does everybody nowadays, well, at least the people I talk to, I noticed, they just hear the number, the monthly payment, and they're like, yeah, I can make it. Yeah, no.
I can afford the payment.
I can afford the payment. Yeah. It's never like, give me the breakdown. I need to know how much this is going to. Nobody really, well, at least a good majority, doesn't go into detail as far as like what's going to what. So one example of this was we were trying to buy our house. And in the same city, we looked at a house, same price, and the payment was like a couple $100 more than another house we were going to put an offer on. And I'm like telling our loan officer, I was like, hey, like,
why is it that much?
Why is it that much difference? The price is like, I think it was only $5,000 off. Yeah. But like $5,000, that's nothing for it to be hundreds different. You know what I mean? And then she was like, oh, it's the property taxes on that specific area of the city. And I'm like, what? So that was news to me. I didn't know, like, even within the same city. Like,
it's probably the same zip code too, right?
No. No? It is different? It's like, yeah, I would say it, but yeah, it's like off a digit or whatever. But
I was going to say
wow. But yeah, that's things that you got to think about. Like, do you really want to spend a couple $100 more a month for the property taxes on a home that may be down the street? Because literally that house was down, like.
It is down the street.
It's
literally right
almost down the street, yeah. And we saved ourselves hundreds by going with this house instead because the property taxes were about $4,000 less a year. Like, it's insane. Yeah. I was helping out a buddy of ours and stuff when we were talking about the mortgage payment too. And I noticed their property taxes, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize you guys are paying that much in property taxes. Like, ours
and it's literally still
same city.
Yeah, same city.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's one thing when you are looking for a house, look at the property taxes. And not only that.
They change.
So, like, you think your mortgage payment is going to be X amount next year, it could go up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, And you think, oh no, it's like, that's my mortgage payment. And that's my mentality back then too, was like, oh no, that's my mortgage payment. Once you get a mortgage, like that's it for 30 years or 15 years or whatever term that you put it under. But no, like if you guys vote out that the taxes are going to go up because you guys want better schools.
And that too,
or like,
we have a say, right?
Yes.
The whole voting. So
but
when you
people
start,
don't.
Yeah, they just say, like you were telling me that, oh, you know, if you vote for this bill, the schools are going to benefit more. They're going to get more money, this and that. Where are they getting the money from?
Taxes. Property taxes.
Property taxes. They're going to increase it. And sometimes we're just not aware. And we're like, oh, snap. You know, we're telling them to increase them.
Right. Like I just saw the property taxes on ours today, actually. And it went up this year from last year. Luckily, ours, because I'm on Nextdoor app. Nextdoor, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying that their property taxes jumped and their homeowners insurance jumped like crazy, especially where we're at, because a little bit more higher up, it's considered a fire hazard zone or a flood zone.
Yeah.
And a lot of insurances, and a lot of insurances don't want to insure them anymore, even though I don't ever see a fire there for all the years that we've lived here. But so not only that, property taxes and homeowners insurance, and that's both in your mortgage payment if you have an escrow account in your mortgage payment. So again, whoever's like a realtor or a loan officer or works at a bank or whatever, correct me if I say anything that's wrong. But like your mortgage payment, a lot of people have an escrow account. The escrow account is what pays out your property taxes every year and your homeowner's insurance. And if you have PMI, which is your hazard insurance.
Yeah.
So
which is technically you automatically get, right? If you get
if you don't put 20% down, automatically you get PMI on your mortgage. I think it's only if, again, I don't know everything.
There's like so many numbers. Like for every 100,000, it's a certain amount, something like that, right?
But not only that, the type of loan you get to.
Yeah.
There's so many loans out there. And
variables, so many changes. Yeah.
But at least for us, for the loan that we got, at the time, we didn't put 20% down. So we ended up getting PMI. We had to get our homeowner's insurance. Obviously, we have to pay property taxes. So we got an escrow account on our mortgage. That way, the escrow pays that out for us every year. And then your mortgage payment includes the principal and interest as well. So it's principal, interest is the main loan. And then your escrow account is an additional amount that they tack on to pay for your property taxes, your PMI, if you still have PMI, and your homeowner's insurance. So they do the work for you. They pay them out every year, twice a year, whatever. And then it's already included in your mortgage payment. But like I said, your mortgage payment can go up if, your homeowner's insurance goes up, which is happening almost to everybody right now. Yeah. And that's another thing you could save money is shop around. You have the availability to shop around. Yeah. Like our homeowner insurance was going up, and I was like, oh, heck no. Like, I do not want a higher mortgage payment. I don't, you know? So I shopped around, and luckily at that time, it was almost right before the cutoff, before all these insurances don't want to insure homeowners anymore right now or cars. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about that. In California, they're getting kind of, I don't know, it's kind of getting crazy over here.
Yeah.
But I made it so that we bundled our auto loan and homeowners insurance with the same insurance. So they were able to drastically reduce our homeowners insurance per year by hundreds. And we got better coverage, and it was just a, better deal,
Yeah.
So that helped lower our mortgage payment by a couple hundred, actually, because when we first got our mortgage, when we first bought the house, we were paying $500 more a month.
Dang.
Can you believe that? Like, now looking back, I'm like, dude, we saved a lot of money. Like,
well, even when we refinanced too, right? And we lowered our.
Oh, yes. And then that's why I reduced it even more. It was the homeowner insurance. We shopped around, and you could change your homeowner's insurance like anytime. Like they'll retro pay it. They'll like, you know, they
do everything.
They do everything. You just tell them, hey, I don't want this insurance. I want a different insurance. And, you know, make it work. So we were able to reduce our mortgage and payment that way. And then when the rates were going really low, obviously not right now. This is the worst time, guys. It's like, I just heard today it was like 7% That's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, holy moly. Like, when is it going to ever go back down? Like, anywho, we got it down when it hit 3%. Mm-hmm. It was like 3 point something.
And it still went lower, right?
No, it had gone lower and then went back up, and they started going up like 3.5 or something like that. And I'm like, oh no, I should have done it before. And then it went back down to 3%, and that's where we locked it in.
Yeah.
And we were able to refinance. And guys,
we got rid of our PMI too.
Oh yeah. We were able to get rid of the PMI, and we were only here for what, a year or 2 years?
2 years or so, around there.
And everybody was telling me, you can't get rid of PMI because you've only been there for such a short. No, research it, guys. This is all like knowledge that you could just Google away. You know, like I didn't even learn this working at the bank. This is just me being curious and just Googling and trying to find a way to freaking cut expenses. And that's what we all need to do, is find ways to cut things.
Yeah, and save money here and there. Even if it's a little bit, it'll add on.
Yeah. So I looked it up, and there was, again, don't quote me on it. I should have wrote all this down to let you guys more. I could probably let you guys more know. DM me, and I'll figure it out. I'll find stuff. But anywho, there was 2 criterias for us to meet in order to get rid of TMI. PMI. Because PMI, we were paying,
like 100,
I can't remember. It was like $100, or something. It went down to 70, or it went up to 170. I don't know. It was like an extra amount that we didn't need to pay.
Yeah, it's literally just in case we stop paying and they lose, the house gets on foreclosure, like, right? Or something like that.
For the mortgage company, basically. Yeah. Because we didn't put 20% down.
Yeah.
Anywho, we didn't reach the 20% yet, but there's other criterias that you can meet in order to get it removed. And one, we took advantage that the house's value went up like insane.
Yeah.
And then they said that you need to do an appraisal on your home to make sure, you know, the loan to value, whatever, is a certain percentage. Because we did not put 20% down, it has to be, hey, Anthony. It has to be, I believe it was 70%.
You mean Juan Navarro? Just kidding.
Anthony. I believe it was 70%.
Yeah, it needs to be valued.
Loan to value, 70%. And it did. Like, I was like, awesome. Like, we took advantage at the time that houses were going up like crazy. Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly, yes.
So, anywho, what we paid for an appraisal, which was super cheap.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If you pay for appraisal, I forgot how much we paid. It was like anywhere from 100 to 300. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. Anywho, my mentality was, oh, that pays off in 3 months. Yeah. If we still have PMI, you know? And then after 3 months, we, you know, wipe even. Yeah. And then after that, now we're saving. You know what I mean? So we paid a person to come appraise the house. They checked the values or whatever. We met the 2 criterias, and then we were able to remove PMI. And that's another $100 that we're saving every month. That's $1,200 a year, guys. Like, these are little numbers that you just have to start cutting away. Like, find ways to save money. And if you keep doing this to like all your stuff,
like auto insurance, if you pay like what, the whole year? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you pay the whole year, sometimes they'll cut you a discount.
Yeah.
Bundling always gives you a discount. What else? Usually if you have like AAA or whatever, I remember you went a Costco membership.
Yeah.
I remember, I think they did with me. They gave you a discount. I don't know, what else did they give you a discount on?
Which is bundles. Just
bundling, yeah. And like shop around every year.
Yeah.
Maybe every year if you want. if you start noticing yours is going up, or they sent you a notice like, oh, it's going to go up, start calling around again. Because 1 year, maybe one company is going to give you a lower rate than the other. Then the next year they raise you up. Okay. Then start shopping again. And maybe that other company will give you a lower rate this time. Who knows? But
yeah, but remember, it doesn't like cheaper or savings.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. Doesn't mean, oh, we still cover the same amounts for less. It's like, no. Sometimes they'll be like, all right, well, now bodily injury only covers, I don't know, $500 per person. Something like that. Let's just say. I'm just throwing out numbers. But
so it's
like, whoa, you got to look at your rates.
Yes. So
policies, right? Yeah, the policy.
The policy, yeah. So when I shop around, I want the best of the best, because obviously if I'm going to save money, I still want the best, so to say. I'm not going to cut corners either. Like, if our house were to burn down, obviously I want them to rebuild it and add value and not. Yeah. So those are also things you got to think about. Be smart. Don't cut corners and be like, well, I'm getting it cheaper for now. And then you get in a freaking car accident. And then you're like, what? My deductible's $1,000? Oh my God, you're the one who signed up. Like,
and they show you the policies. They show you the breakdown, everything.
They show you everything. But you just hear the payment and you're like, I'll take it. It's like, no.
Yeah.
So, and especially if you own a home, you got to make sure your coverages are high enough that, what do you call it? Sorry, what is the best I can't even talk this freaking energy drink.
What is the best inexpensive homeowner's insurance, and is there a requirement that has to be met after the home is paid off, like liability insurance for cars?
So there's two parts. So what is the best inexpensive homeowner's insurance? That it just varies, because one, like I said, in our area, it's considered like a fire zone. Mm-hmm. In your area, maybe it's not the case. So they would probably charge more for us depending, your location. So I wouldn't know. So and then also like square footage, they take so many things in consideration, the year of the home.
You got to remember too, though, every year, let's just say, oh, my home is insured. Mm-hmm. I bought it 4 years ago. It's insured for a policy of $400,000.
Yeah.
This house is now worth $700,000.
Yeah.
You're only insured for $400,000, so you gotta make sure
$400,000 for like the cost of like the wood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know how much wood has gone up? You know what I mean? Like,
so that's why it's good to like update it as well.
Yes. Make sure
your insurance always covers the value pretty much of what it's worth, right?
How much it would cost to repair your home.
Yeah.
So going back to your question, so what is the best inexpensive homeowner's insurance? And is there a requirement that has to be met after the home is paid off? So one, you just have to shop around, because it varies. Like 1 year I was with, I think it was like Mercury Insurance. Mm-hmm. They were the cheapest of the cheapest at the time. I had the greatest coverages and everything. And then next, I think it was like AAA. Yeah. And then right now we're with Costco, which is, it's not Costco. Costco's
Connect, right?
Yes, it's called Connect. Connect is the actual insurance. Costco is kind of like the broker, so to say.
Yeah.
But we went through Costco because through their membership, they give you discounts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with us, we made it on a good time. I think they stopped offering it just last year, fortunately. I'm not sure when they're going to reopen it up. But we were able to bundle our auto and homeowners through Connect Insurance through Costco. Mm-hmm. And everything was like, literally our deductibles for our cars are $250, which is awesome. Because if we get in a car accident, $250, okay, that's doable.
It's like the bumper alone is probably $1,000.
Yeah.
Whatever. Here, $250.
Well, obviously, yeah. I mean, it's still $250, but still.
Yes. But yeah.
But my thing is, before my mentality was $500 was the go-to deductible. Now my go-to is $250. And again, it varies on your situation. What is manageable for you? What is not? If you were to get in a car accident today, are you okay paying $1,000, $2,000? There's $2,000 deductibles.
Dang, I didn't know.
There's $500. There's $250. And again, ask them. Be like, how much is my quote at $500 deductible? How much is it at $250? Is it worth your while based off your car? Because you have your brand new car, it's going to be insane, the drastic difference versus if you have a somewhat older car or older car. again, everything is case by case, but what I always recommend is shop around. Yeah. Call everybody and their mom and see what the lowest rate is. And
make sure that the policy like actually covers good amounts. Because just because it's cheaper, like I said, doesn't mean it's still the same, coverage.
Like you don't want to get like a newish car and get liability only. Like, don't be dumb. You know what I mean? Like,
and then also if it is new, definitely full coverage. Definitely get the best quote everywhere. And then, I mean, I've never done it because I've never bought a brand new car, like a new car.
Yeah,
we always buy used. But Lemon. Oh no. What are you talking about? What is it? Or the Gap insurance.
Oh, Gap insurance.
Gap insurance as well. Because let's just say you buy a car and then right now, like the values just drop. It's like now you're underwater, and the Gap insurance would cover that if you get in an accident.
Yeah,
and
if your car gets totaled. Yeah.
Because otherwise you'll still it's like, well, now I'm paying a car that I don't own. Like
right. So again, sorry, my daughter wants something. You want to check up on her really quick? Yeah. So as far as best homeowners insurance, again, shop around. It just depends on your home, your location, how old your home is. There's too many factors that come into play. So just shop around. As far as, is there a requirement that has to be met after the home is paid off, like liability insurance for cars? I mean, even if the home is paid off, I still recommend homeowners insurance, because what if your house gets set on fire? Is that what you mean? I'm not too sure. If that's what you mean, yes, you still should have homeowners insurance, enough coverage to rebuild your home. So like I said earlier, like the price of lumber has gone up. So like maybe you got your insurance 5 years ago. You need to update that ASAP, because 5 years ago, things were totally different than it is right now. So like to build your home, it could be a drastic difference with everything, how inflation is right now. Everywhere, everything is so much more expensive now. So you need to follow up with your insurance. Even if you stick with your same insurance, hit them up and be like, hey, I want to update my insurance based off, what my home is valued now, and et cetera. And they'll be able to do that for you and give you quotes and stuff like that. You don't have to commit, but at least you have that knowledge, and they tell you, okay, it's going to be X amount to update your policy, whatever. So God forbid if your house gets set on fire, or I don't know, if something crazy were to happen, you're able to rebuild your house, and there's no issue of you being, like the house gets condemned or whatever. So yes, I still recommend that you get a homeowner's insurance, at least for enough to rebuild your home, even if your house is paid off. And like I said, if you buy a new house, always check the property taxes. Oh, that's killer. What else did I not cover? And then PMI, like I said, you could always get that removed. You don't have to be there 5 years, 3 years, whatever. Like I said, we got ours removed, I think 1.5 years in, or 2 years, if I remember right. You could get that removed, and that's another expense that you could get off your mortgage payment. You're welcome, Anthony. Hopefully I explained that. And then what else were we going to talk about? I hope that covers everything with the home. So we talked about the PMI, the mortgage, insurance, property taxes. What else were we going to talk about on there? Buying things cash. Yes, guys. I just heard somebody say it, and I'm like, that's what we do, is do not get loans for things that depreciate in value. Only get loans for things that do appreciate, like go up in value. So for instance, cars, that's like the number one thing that goes down in value, I feel like. Are you crawling over there?
You can't see it on the live, but on the video I can edit. It's so funny.
Yeah. So like what we recommend, again, this is all for entertainment purposes, guys. Allegedly.
Not financial advice.
Allegedly. Not financial advice, but just, things that we do. And so we always recommend never get a loan for things that depreciate in value. Like
cars, boats, trailers, RVs.
Yeah. None of that. Yeah.
And like, let's just say you get a trailer for, I'm going to start a business because I need to pick up trash and throw it away for people. And you get a loan on the trailer.
I mean, there's certain things where I'm kind of like, again, it's always case by case. It's not like how, like I said, like how Dave Ramsey, it's not like one shoe fits all.
Yeah.
Again, each situation's different. But as a whole, so to say, it's better to not get loans for things that depreciate, because even with businesses, you could expense those things. So it's kind of like, but
at the same time, if your business goes under and you still owe,
then that sucks. Then you're screwed.
Like a lot of people are trying to do the whole like toll road thing. They're like, hey, we're gonna buy a lot of Teslas, rent them out. What happened? COVID happened. They can't pay 10 cars, you know?
And that's another thing with talking about that. I had people, I used to work in the insurance or whatever, and I had some people that would like rent out their car and we would not cover them. We'll decline them because
so if you're doing, like, let's just say if you're using your car for commercial use,
for commercial use,
they will find out. They investigate. I know, like, a lot of people are like, no, it's okay, they won't find out or anything. You're like, no, it won't happen to me. You never know.
Somebody opens their mouth one way or another. Or there's Instagram and stuff, and people will be posting stuff, and insurances will go to your Instagram, they'll go to your Facebook, they'll go to your TikTok. We used to do that. Especially with bodily injury, we will check you out. Like, I remember there was one situation, this girl was claiming something. It wasn't my claim, but serious injury, blah, 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 This girl be posting on freaking Instagram or TikTok of her doing like gymnastics, stretching, doing splits. I'm like, you're claiming spinal injury, but yet, like, really? Why are you posting? Like, if you're trying to get the bag, okay, but like,
trying to get the bag,
look at the money, I just heard that the other day.
That's mid.
That's mid. Just kidding. Period. Don't be posting on there that you're doing that.
Or just don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't lie. Don't.
Yeah, you shouldn't be lying to begin with.
No, don't be trying to do all that.
But like certain things like that, like they do investigate. So like, anywho, I don't even know how we got. Oh,
well, we're talking about the
buying cars and stuff like that. Like, so I always recommend that you buy used cars, honestly, because one, big difference in price.
Yeah.
For example, we bought an RV cash, guys, because we weren't going to get a loan on that RV just for us to go on little vacations three times.
And it's funny because, we've only used it like 3 times. It's like, at this point, it's like, we kind of want to sell it, but we just use it again on this vacation. We're like, we fell in love with it again.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It was cash. It's not like, we're still paying on it.
Like oh my God, we're still paying.
It's just sitting there and we're paying and we're paying. And it's just making it a struggle every month trying to pay the bill. No, we're not dealing with that.
Yeah, we're not dealing with that. So, what was I going with that? So, you
pay it in cash.
Pay it in cash. Yeah. So, like, going back to the RV thing, we paid it in cash because it was an older RV and it looks new-ish.
Yeah. We thought it was 2017.
And it turned out being 2018, right?
We got it, 2 years ago now?
Yeah. So it was 4 years old, and the price on that is slashed in half compared to buying it brand new. 4 years, guys. 4 years, and it went down half the price.
Yeah. They're probably like 30 or 40 grand.
Right now?
Like 30 something. No, that's
brand
how
new?
much they are when they're new. They're like around 30, 40. And it's like, if you think about it, it's like, that's a lot of money for a trailer that you're going to use 3 times a year.
It's not worth it. So might as well go used, even if it's like a year or 2 years. Like, that's still like thousands that you're saving. Like they always say, if you buy a brand new car, as soon as you
drive off the lot.
Yeah, drive off the lot, that car already depreciated. Like, how much? So same thing. I'll give you 1K for the RV. Heck no. I'm just kidding.
To rent it? Yeah.
To rent it?
Rent it.
I need to get commercial insurance from that, though. I'm just kidding.
Allegedly. Rent.
Allegedly
rent.
But yeah, like, even if you want to buy a car, okay, get older. Well, not like older. I'm not saying get a beat up car.
Be a beater. Yeah. No,
do not get a beater either, because that's just, you're just gonna be throwing
in
money
the Dave
at
Ramsey
it too.
way. It is that the beater. Get a beater. Get a $500 car.
I would never.
Where do you see $500 cars? Unless it's like a shell, and even then, some shells are more expensive.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, I've lived through that. I'm not gonna get into that one, but yeah, like, don't get, okay, for me, I'm not gonna get a car that's like super old and like the AC ain't working. Like, I just can't. I'm sorry.
Or you're like, and they're like, what is that? I'm rolling the window.
I can't. I feel like there has to be a balance. Yeah. Like, it can't be super new, because one,
you can't afford it.
I can't afford it.
You shouldn't be paying that much for a car.
I'm not gonna pay $500 a month for a car. Oh. I'm not. I'm sorry. No, I can't. I did it with my truck. Okay. To me, that was actually the best investment buying at the time, because I've had this truck, 15 years now? Yeah. No issues whatsoever. It's paid off. Yeah. Knock on wood. But like, I'm happy I did that back in the day, because that thing,
it was either that or a Camaro. So imagine the
Camaro, speeding tickets left and right. No way.
Or investment.
Yeah, that would have been a poor investment.
And it's not, like I said, it's not the money that's like bad. It's the habits. So imagine.
Yes, the habits.
You driving fast with the Camaro?
I know I drive fast. So I know with a Camaro, I'm going to be like going 100 and be like, I thought I was going 75. Like, so I knew it was a good thing I went with my truck.
Yeah.
And not only that, like, how many times did I move back in the day? Like, you know how much money we saved on moving expenses just for having my truck? Yeah. Even till today with my lumber, all the wood I buy. Yeah. Every time I go to a lumber yard, they're like, oh, thank God you brought a truck. And it's like, is it because you see a girl and you think automatically I'm dumb? I'm going to bring a little sedan, like, to get 4x8s. Like, you know. I don't know. But yeah. And then, like, for instance, Edgar's Tahoe. We always say, like, my truck's my truck, but it's both of ours. It's just habit saying it that way. I know it's my truck. But like, for instance, you're like, your Tahoe, our Tahoe, whatever. Like, we had an older model.
Yeah, 2004.
Was it 2004?
Was it that old? Tahoe. Yeah. And we got it for like, what, $2,000?
Yeah, we got it for like $2,000.
Yeah, it went on
it was actually pretty good at the time, though.
Yeah. I mean, and it was literally on Craigslist, which nobody really goes on. Yeah. We were going through like OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, 5 Mile. There's like different apps. But we saw this one on Craigslist, and we're like, oh, let's check it out. The guy was like, yeah, you know, I'm just selling it. All right, so let's go.
He had it in good shape for being that old.
Well, I mean, it's 2004. Not that, like, it's a brand new car. Of course not. Like, there's chips on the paint. There's dings on the doors. And these are it's pre-dinged. So trust me, it does not hurt if someone hits your car with their door. Oh. It would hurt on a brand new car because you're like, oh, no, it's brand new.
Yeah.
Why are people being careless and hitting my door? And it's like a ding. Like, you know, you actually have to pay to fix it.
Yeah.
Ours had it. Who cares? It's a used car, right?
Right.
It doesn't hurt. Those are like the little benefits of a used car. And we ended up selling it eventually, right? To upgrade.
So we ended up getting what? This was years ago already.
Yeah, this was years ago. And we got it 2013 instead.
So now we upgraded 9 years. And we paid cash again. So we actually profited on that 2004 Tahoe. We actually made a profit.
It wasn't like insane amounts, but we used it for a year. And we still made money.
No, it was like more than a year, no?
Yeah, or maybe more than a year. But then we still, it's funny because we used it and somehow we still made money out of it.
Yeah, we still made money out of it. So we profited when we sold it, and we put that money towards the new Tahoe, again, still used. And then we paid out of pocket the difference in order to get a newer vehicle paid off. So we don't have to worry about having a car payment. Like, there's no stress about have a car payment. And only that, insurance on older cars,
it's cheaper.
Way
better. Registration too.
Yeah, registration too. Yes. I remember every year.
It's just insane because there's so much like fees this, fees that.
Yeah.
And you're thinking like, oh, I bought a brand new house, boom, property insurance. Oh, I bought a brand new car, boom, registration.
Yeah.
Taxes and registration. Like, oh.
Yeah. So like, yeah, the insurance on that is a lot cheaper. Like I remember somebody posted that they have a brand new truck and their registration was like, I think she said $700 or $800. And I'm like, oh, that hurts. Like, I don't think I could ever pay that much for a car. I don't know.
And that's just registration?
Registration. I can only imagine their insurance, the gas on it. Like, it's just, why? Yeah. Like, is it just for looks? Like,
and
why?
We're not saying like, oh, get, you know, like a 1990 Honda Civic. Like, no, we're not saying that either. Like, I mean, if you get it for like super cheap, why not? You're just going from A to B, right. But not like, oh, I'm going to fit my whole family in there and feel safe in it. No, sometimes they don't feel safe, you know, right. Even though they're old and small. Yes, you're saving money, but I mean, worry about your life too.
Plus luxury tax on nice new cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so what's
must be nice.
It's yours and yours is yours. Yes,
Marco, I need a car. How many
I'm like
cars?
Skipping these questions. Sorry, guys.
How many cars do they have? They have 3.
Who?
Marco.
Must be nice, Marco. 3 cars. Jeez.
No, well, I'm just saying. He says he needs a car, but like, no,
you don't need a 4th car.
You don't need a 4th car. Like, we have 2 cars. That's it.
Yeah.
We were like thinking about Jason, like, all right, maybe he's gonna need a car, but that's like later.
It's like 10 years from now.
Yeah,
no, not 10 years. That's actually
6 years.
Minimum 7 years.
Yeah. But yeah, eventually we'll need one, but we don't need 3. We don't need 4. Like,
I mean, like, go for it. Go buy a brand new car, if you know
you can afford the loss.
Yeah, if you could afford the loss, like let's just say you lose your job or whatever, can you still make that car payment or whatever? Okay, cool.
And we're losing jobs.
Losing jobs left and right now. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, times are tough right now. But I mean, I still don't think it's a good idea buying a brand new car. Like I don't see any perk in it besides 1, no one's ever used it before, and then 2, it is a brand new car. It's nice.
I understand it's gonna have like no issues.
Yeah.
But in reality, life happens.
Yeah.
And even brand new cars have issues.
Yeah, you know that firsthand working on cars.
Yeah. You never know. Some knucklehead, the way they manufacture, they're like they forgot to tie in a bolt or something, and boom. Like, something happens.
Mark, I'm definitely getting 1980. No, I'm not saying that either.
Well, like, yeah, that's what we're saying. Like, we're not saying that.
Yeah.
But for $500, like, where are you going to find that? And if you do, let's just say you pay $500 and then you pay registration, taxes, all that stuff. And then you just sell it the next year for like $1,000. That's all right, cool, whatever. Yeah. You know, it's fine. But like, oh, you bought a 1980. Now you're paying to fix the engine. Now you're paying $2,000 to change like parts left and right. It's like really like no. Now you're kind of like getting a money pit. And
he's like, I'll just ride my electric scooter, no registration or insurance. No lie, no, for real. Okay, think about it right now. Right now, my truck. Let's be real. I have no car payment. My registration on that thing is what?
I don't know.
I think it's in the mail right now, actually. But
already?
I think it's like 160 or 260.
I would think 160. Anything.
Okay. It's just high end 260.
Yeah.
I think it is 160, but whatever. 260. It's a 2009 Tacoma that has not died on me whatsoever. No issues, guys. Awesome.
Yes, Tacoma's.
And then the insurance on that thing, literally on his Tahoe, he has a 2013, and then my Tacoma, we're paying, oh shoot, how much was I paying? $480 for 6 months. And that's at the highest full coverage.
So it's $800.
$250 deductibles on both cars. And that's at, oh gosh, I have to pick it up again. I can't think of the numbers. I think it's at 100, 300.
Oh, like the coverages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to go higher, but I was like,
We live in this city.
I mean, we still own this house. It's not like we have.
There's no Ferraris down the street.
We do have equity, but not like. Like if they were to really like sue us, like if I were to have by accident, you know, got in a car accident, broke someone's arm, how much could they get me for? Like I started thinking that way.
Yeah.
Like how much should I put my coverages just in case?
Because remember, if they go like, oh, all right, you broke his arm and they're like, oh, well, I'm trying to get paid $20,000. No, let's just say $100,000. And your insurance only covers $10,000. They could literally, the lawyers, if they get lawyers and all that, they could try to get those other $90,000 from you.
Yes, they do.
If you have a house under your name, if you have
they check all
assets
that
and all that, yeah, they check all that. A lot of that stuff is public.
But then there's some that they're like completely broke, and the lawyers are like, just take the 10 grand to their client. Like they got nothing.
Yeah. But I'm just saying,
sad.
like, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't just get like the lowest policies because it's the cheapest thing. Like, no, be real.
Yeah. So if you're like a homeowner and stuff like that, you need to make sure your coverages are up there, because lawyers will find what your assets are. Yeah. And they'll make you sign statements, like how much do you have in your checking account, how much do you have in your savings account. They'll make you sign off on all this stuff, and they'll investigate. Yeah.
It's so crazy, right? Like they could just.
Yes, it's crazy. Yeah. So if you have assets, like legit, like you have money in the bank, or you have a home that has equity and stuff like that, make sure your coverages are up there. Yeah. God forbid, you know, something bad happens. Let's be wise and cover your butt, because So again, shop around, but also get yourself good coverages and find which company will willing to cover you with great coverages, but also, you know, way cheaper.
Yeah, like a good price.
Yeah, a good price. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be paying paying $200, $300 a month.
Yeah, heck no. We used to do that. We used to pay a lot each month. It was a couple hundred per month.
Wait, what is it a year?
A year,
$840.
I think like $900 a year. If you want to double it, $1,000. Let's just say $1,000 for the whole year for both our cars. Dang. And it's like awesome coverages. Yeah. And that's because one, we don't have brand new cars and stuff like that. And then 2, we bundled. And 3, because I shopped around. Yeah. Yeah. That's basically why. So if you need to cut costs, look at your auto insurance. If you only have an auto, shop around. I mean, if you already have a car already that you bought and you're owing on it, try paying more towards principal if you can. Yeah. Just pay it off. Let's just say you lost your job and you do have a car, and you can't make the payment, don't get it repoed. You know, there's certain loans, like Toyota, for instance. I know they did it in the past. From prior experience, I had gotten let go, or I was super tight. It was when I was living by myself. Yeah. Couldn't afford that month. I was struggling. I was paying my apartment. I was paying my truck. I had a motorcycle at that time. Had all these little bills. And I was like, where could I cut something? You know what I mean? Like try to like scrape by without like being delinquent. Yeah. Because me and my credit, I could not miss a payment. Like that was my thing.
Keeping your credit pristine.
I had to keep my credit pristine due to previous life issues that I've seen with other people that I'm like, that's not going to be me. So what I did is I called up Toyota and I'm like, hey, I'm having some financial issues right now. I have to pay for, I think I said I either went to school or a medical issue. Like there's only certain reasons you could say.
So and this is not
financial advice. Yeah, this is all for entertainment purposes.
This is all for entertainment purposes.
Allegedly.
That's kind of, never mind.
I know. Oh, like contradicting?
Yes. You're saying it's not.
I contradict that. Anywho, so yeah, let's just say you do have a loan, an auto loan or whatever, and you lose your job and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to start falling delinquent because I have no savings, whatever the scenario is. You just can't make the payment. Contact your financial institution. There's, for instance, like Toyota. Back in the day, I'm not sure if they do it now, so don't quote me on it. But if you let them know, like, hey, yeah, there you go. You call Toyota to see something about your payment. Yeah. You could hit up them and tell them, like, hey, you know, I lost my job, or like, usually it's something short term, actually. So, like, a medical expense or whatever scenario happened, a hardship. You had a hardship. They'll defer your payment. So, basically, that month, they'll give you, like, I know at the bank they called it a payment holiday, where they give you your payment 0 for the month and they consider it a payment holiday. But with auto loans, basically they add that payment to the end of your
loan.
Yeah. So if you have a loan of 72 months, now your loan's 73 months.
But you didn't pay that month.
Yeah, you just don't pay that month. And that saves you from getting a delinquency. Nobody wants a delinquency. Not only that, it could cause your APR to go up. It just makes you look bad. Versus if you call and tell them like, hey, I need a payment holiday. That's literally what they called it, or a payment deferment. There's a good chance that you could get your payment deferred, and they'll save you that month. Like for me, I was paying $515 on my auto loan at the time that I just did not have the money at the time.
Yeah.
I called them up. I was like, hey, I can't make the payment this month because XYZ. And they deferred the payment for me. So that $515, oh my God, that was such a relief because I was literally only short that amount to get me by. And then I would be back on track. So it does not make your credit look bad whatsoever. It makes you still in good standing with your financial institution. And there's like no delinquency. And you could do that, I think, once every 6 months or once a year. I can't remember.
Allegedly.
But there's a cap on it as well. I think you can only do it 3 times in the life of the loan, so don't abuse it.
And yes, exactly. And I was gonna say that about abusing it. Like, don't. Yeah. I need to like have a big party. I need to go on a New York trip. Like, don't I'm gonna use that money to go somewhere. I was like, no. These are like backup plans. Yeah. Still, I mean, yes, you didn't make the cutoff to make the money to make the payment.
Right. Like,
this doesn't mean you have extra money. Yeah, it does not mean that.
I only recommend this if you're in a legit hardship.
Yes. Like where you're definitely gonna pay that, or maybe or add more, next month. Yeah. Whatever. But yes, it's not to take advantage of it, like to be like, oh, well, I'm going to go party. I'm going to go spend this. Now I have extra cash.
Like, I want to go on vacation or whatever.
Yeah, and nothing like that.
Yeah. So it's true. I had the Nissan of Corona with an Altima. They added to the end of the loan and they called it deferred, I think. Not sure. Allegedly. Yes, told 3 times in the life of the loan and 1 year. Yeah. See, there you go. See, it's cool, right? Because these are things that people don't know. Like, yeah, half the company was laid off. Oh, dang, no way. Yeah, at where he works too, 10% of his employees. Work, all the employees got laid off too. So definitely hard times. So if you're in that situation where you got laid off and you can't make your auto loan, this is why I always say in the beginning, don't get any loans for things that depreciate, like auto loans, whatever. Because God forbid, if you lose your job or you just don't have the money, you don't want to be in this situation. But if you are in that situation, this is an opportunity where you could still, I'm losing my train of thought.
Like, go pay it off, or like?
No, this is still an opportunity where you're not going to fall delinquent, even though you lost your job. One. Yeah. Your credit's still going to be in good standing. Just hit up your financial institution. But again, look it up first. Because again, there's certain things, if you say, they're going to be like, oh, you don't qualify for that payment holiday or that payment deferment because obviously you said this. Yeah. So hint, allegedly. Yeah. So it's like certain things that does qualify for you to do that, even with your credit cards too. Again,
not financial advice.
Not financial advice. I just, heard about this working there. They do payment holidays too, even with your credit card. If you cannot pay your credit card, don't screw your credit and not make your minimum payment. Yeah. At least make your minimum payment. But even if you don't even have the money for the minimum payment, call them up and be like, hey, XYZ happened. I need a payment holiday. And as long as you've been in good standing for the last 6 months, if I remember right, they'll give you a payment holiday. So
they should. Doesn't mean they will.
I know. No guarantees, guys. But I'm just saying that there's opportunities that if you were to get in a financial hardship and you don't want to screw up your credit, you just need that 1 month, to get by or whatever, hit up your credit card company, hit up your auto financial people. Disclaimer, this is not legal advice, entertainment purposes only, allegedly. Yes. Yeah, so those are 2 things that you could do if, God forbid, you got laid off, or, you know, you got a whole bunch of medical bills that came up and stuff. And yeah, those are 2 things that you could do to save yourself that month. And hopefully with that 1 month breathing room, you could get caught up the next month, or at least buy you at least 1 month of trying to figure out how am I going to make extra money to at least make the minimum payment the following month. So same thing with the credit card. I mean, interest is still going to accrue. So that's one thing you have to really think about, but I'd rather pay 1 month of extra interest than have my credit dinged for a long time. So that's another thing to think about if you get in financial hardship. Let's see. You could do that with student loans as well. They offer deferments. I don't recommend it because then you're going to get in the same situation that happened to me, where I still owe student loan debt, which sucks. I pretty much already paid off the original balance of my student loans, and I feel like I'm still like as if I just graduated, and it's been years. So there's that whole issue with student loans right now that everybody's complaining. Some are for it, some are against it as far as like loan forgiveness. And I get it. I'm still paying a ton every month, and it's going to be a couple years before I pay that crap off, unfortunately. But, and again, it goes back to, you know, when you're young, you know, like when I got those student loans, I was 17 and a half. I wasn't even an adult yet, and they let me get all this debt. And then, like, I think I was 19. Again, I was very naive about the whole financial world and how they could just give you thousands and thousands and thousands of loans with no income. That's an issue that we're still dealing with. Luckily, we could make the payments, but and that one's actually pretty cool as far as when you make over the minimum. It pushes out your due date. So right now, I think on my student loan, it says like my next due date is not until year 2027 because I'm paying over the minimum, even though I still have the freaking debt, which just makes no sense.
Oh, like so, you don't have to pay until 2027?
So for example, if you pay over your minimum on a credit card, there's still a minimum payment due the next month that doesn't, you know, like your payment doesn't change, so to say. With student loans, if you make a payment above the normal payment, it actually pushes out your due date for as much as you've been paying over. If that makes sense. Not sure. Anyway, my due date on my student loan, it says it's not due until like 2027. So if I don't have the money to pay next month, technically it's not going to ding my credit. But obviously I'm paying every month because I'm trying to get rid of it, even though it seems like it's going nowhere.
Yeah, and it's crazy because a lot of people stopped paying during COVID when they did
I know, and that was the best time to pay because it was literally during COVID.
Everything the principal.
0%. It's like that was the time to pay and hit your principal balance like crazy. And that's where I took advantage too of that COVID. I paid because I want this debt gone. Like this is the one debt I have that's not our mortgage that I regret so much, but I'm paying for it. I'm paying for a mistake I made when I was right out of high school. Isn't that insane?
You're not like the people that complain like, oh, well, you got the loan, you pay for it. It's like, yeah, you are. Yeah. Other people are like, oh, well, you guys are waiting for it to be forgiven. It's like, no.
If you knew how much we pay every month, it's insane. Like more than an auto loan, that's for sure. More. So we talked about mortgages. We talked about auto loans. We talked savings, about credit cards. So you could do payment holidays on credit cards too. That's insane.
Don't buy new cars.
Don't buy new cars. Don't recommend it. Again, these are only recommendations. Yeah. Go ahead, buy your new car if you feel you worked your butt off.
A new car to you. A new car to you.
To me, I feel like we could just keep upgrading our cars like how we did. It was a 2004 Tahoe, and then you upgraded to a 2013 Tahoe, and then maybe next time it'll be a 2018 Tahoe. And
because every new car becomes old after a year.
Yes, and don't have kids. Daycare is expensive. Yes,
don't have
it's
kids.
So insane.
You're like, yes.
Oh my gosh. That's honestly the main reason I quit work, because freaking daycare. It's crazy.
Expensive. Yeah.
It's crazy. So not only do people have to worry about their mortgage, their homeowners insurance going up, property taxes going up, food in general going up, fast food going up,
inflation, everything
is going up, and then you top it off with daycare. Like, who's gonna watch your freaking kids? Yeah, it's a whole house payment. Yeah, it's freaking insane. It's like, honestly, that's the main reason I quit my job. I was making good money, and I quit it because technically, at the end of the day, minus daycare, minus the gas, and paying daycare, whatever, at the end of the month, it makes like I'm still making income, at least in my situation I was, but it wasn't worth it to be working that job for the amount of stress and for the time I am away from my kids.
Yeah.
And like, it just didn't make sense. God needs to send me a rich husband already. Yes.
Oh man, that's funny.
I feel almost like we're set up to fail straight out of school, because no financial classes until college. So if your parents aren't wise to it and guide you, you're gonna make dumb. Yes, and that's what happened to me. Like, it's sad. It happened to me, and that's why, like, when I hear people going to private colleges, specifically private colleges, oh my God, it's like a trigger for me, because I'm like, don't go in the same situation that happened to me, guys. Please, no, don't. Like, I am your future person or whatever telling you, do not do that. Because I'm still living through it. And it's been since I went to that college in 2006. What year are we in? It's almost
Literally
been 20 years. And I still have that freaking debt. Isn't that freaking insane? Like, and for amount of money that we're paying every month, like, it makes no sense. It got to the point, guys, that I was having, intrusive thoughts?
Yeah.
Because I was that stressed out, thinking I'm going to die with this debt. Yeah. Like, I'm going to grow old and die with this debt. Like,
yeah, that debt is not bankruptable.
Yeah. You can't bankrupt it. You can't.
It only goes away. You pay it off or you die.
Yes.
And even then.
And they'll find you at your jobs. I used to work in payroll. I would get stacks of like papers from every single employee that either owes child support or loans or whatever. They will garnish your wages.
Yeah. They take money out of your check.
I remember one time, poor guy, it was child support. Oh my God. Literally, I think his paycheck came out to like $15. After they garnished all his wages, that paycheck, he came up to me because I was the only payroll person. He's like, hey, they messed up on my paycheck. You messed up on it. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I look at it. I was like, ooh, yeah, that was the one I inputted.
You already know. You knew.
And I'm situation. Like, you know what this is? He's like, yeah, but that's stupid. Like, you can't put that in there. I'm like, I have to. Like, literally, the county or whatever sent me the notice, and we're forced to put that garnish on your paycheck. Like, if we don't, we could get in serious trouble as a company, you know? Dude, he's like, you know what? Then I freaking quit. There's no reason for me to work, which is true. 80 hours, and he worked overtime too, for him to get a $15 paycheck. Dang. Freaking insane.
I mean, then again, he probably wasn't paying, so it added up.
Well, obviously.
And that's where it's like, all right.
Well, that's your fault.
It's like, not the money, it's the habits. Some people are trying to be shady, not pay, trying to get places under the table. It's still there. Yeah. It's going to add up. You still owe. So what happened? Yeah, they took his money. Yeah. And it's like, so well, bad. You should have paid little payments or whatever payments, you know, back in the day.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
Yeah. That was insane. That was the craziest paycheck I saw, where they garnished all of it. Like, certain garnishments tell me, like, okay, take out like a couple hundred out of their paycheck, or like 100 or $70 or $15, whatever. Yeah. This one was a percentage, like straight up, like whatever amount he gets, 85% garnish it or whatever. Dang. I'm like, Like, there were some crazy ones. Like, how the heck did they get in this situation? Obviously, I didn't look into it.
Yeah, you're not.
But when I was seeing this, I was like, wow, like, I've heard about this stuff, but I never saw it firsthand.
And companies could do that. If you owe credit cards, they can. Yeah. They could sue, right, as well?
Or, like, another thing what companies do, like, if you go to the gym or whatever. Oh, well, there's two parts on that one. If you go to a gym, they always say, like, oh, we need an emergency contact. You know why they ask you for emergency contact? Allegedly. It's not because, oh, in case you get hurt, you know, we need to find somebody. Because if you give them, like, for instance, me and Edgar went and signed up for a gym, and they're like, oh, give me emergency contact. Okay, Edgar's a guest under my membership, so he gets in for free. Yeah. So I said, oh, put Edgar, because
saving money.
Yeah, saving money, guys. I was like, oh, put Edgar as emergency contact, because who else am I going to put? They're like, we need somebody that's outside your household. I was like, oh, okay, trigger word right there. Or not trigger word, but what's the word I'm looking for? But that's the highlight phrase I needed to hear for it to click. I'm like, oh, for collection purposes. That's right. They do it for collection. So if you fall behind on a gym payment or a credit card payment or any type of, a red flag, there you go. Any type of loan or whatever, they always ask you for emergency contacts because they want to use that in an event that you stop paying and they contact your family members. Or in Edgar, one case, remember back in the day, he had collection accounts when I first met him? They called his job because why did you put your job as like?
Because they ask like, oh, you know, like, oh, like I wouldn't just put my number.
Yeah.
But they ask and all the like paperwork and all that, whatever. Yeah. So I put my number. And what happens? My own supervisor is like, hey, Edgar, Best Buy's calling because you owe them money. I'm like, Edgar, yeah, they left a voicemail or a message. And it's literally the work phone.
Yeah.
Everyone can hear it. I'm like,
oh, that sucks. So they asked for that because for collection reasons. And also like gyms, they do not allow you to put a credit card on file. It has to be a checking account, routing and checking. Why? Collection reasons. Yep. Credit cards, you could easily cancel it, mark it lost, stolen. They give you a new credit card number. Checking accounts, no, you can't do that. You have to literally walk into a bank, close down your account. Like it's way harder to get rid of a checking savings account versus a credit card. So if you go to like a gym, the payment method has to be a check-ins account for that reason, collection purposes. So it's like insane. Like the stuff that I get it. I mean, they're looking for their.
But not a lot of this is like information that not everybody knows.
Yeah.
And it's not common knowledge. They don't teach you this like at high school or anything like that. Yeah. But like it's insane the little things that they do.
Yeah. And it goes back to I know I keep going everywhere, but and it goes back to, like, if you have a mortgage, shop around for your mortgage insurance. Shop around for, try to see if you could get rid of PMI if you still have it. Yeah. Let's see, what else can you do? Credit cards, you know, pay off your high-interest credit cards versus your low-interest credit cards, no matter what the balance is, you know?
Yeah, because they always say, like, no, well, you're supposed to pay off the ones that are highest, right? That's what they thinking say. No.
Dave Ramsey is saying pay off the smallest balance first versus the highest balance because then you get rid of credit cards faster if you have multiple.
No, they're saying the interest high, like pay off the highest. Lowest balance first instead of paying off the highest interest ones or the highest.
That's what I just said.
No, you said highest balance.
No, Dave Ramsey says to pay off your smallest balance first.
Instead of
do the snowball effect or whatever.
Yes, instead of doing like the highest interest ones.
Yeah, but you want to pay off the highest interest ones first. I get why Dave Ramsey says that because it's habits.
Yeah, you're changing your habits.
Changing your mentality habits as far as like getting rid of debt. I get it, but at the end of the day, I don't want to pay more interest. So I pay off highest interest first. But that's just me. And also going back to that.
Or balance transfers.
Doing balance transfers, yeah. Right now, I think it's 3%. I think I just saw something saying that it's going to start going up to like 4 or 5%. I can't remember. Man. Anyways, if you have like a 27% credit card, freaking balance transfer that crap out. Like, I'm sorry, but don't be paying 27, 30% on a credit card. should be on credit cards to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah. Another thing, oh my gosh, I just realized a lot of people don't know how to fill out a W-4. Right? Like, I am surprised. Like, and I've gone more than one person saying this. Like, they get scared messing with the W-4 as far as putting how many exemptions or like single, married.
And some of them are not scared and they put like 10 dependents.
Some people I've heard, they'll be like, oh, this month I'm going to put eight dependents because, you know.
I want more on my check.
I want more on my paycheck, yeah. It's like.
And then they change it back. And it's like.
Yeah, and then they change it back. I did that back in the day. I did.
I think everybody kind of does that. Like, oh, well, I'm struggling. I need to make more this month.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember that time was because I was going to get a huge commission check. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to put like, I have a bunch of dependents so that I get a majority of my check. But anywho.
0 dependents, yes.
Yeah, like for us, we put 0 dependents, even though we have 2 dependents. And then we put 0. Why? Because we want to take, we want...
This is
it's just that there's so many factors, that's why.
Well, yeah, but this is our way of just doing it. There's other ways. Some people, like the Dave Ramsey way says, try to get exactly everything you get, and so you could break even at the end of the year because now you're getting more money.
Right. Why do you want to loan to the government?
Yeah. Why do you want to loan to the government interest-free?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's his way. But I get it. Our way is different.
Yeah. And the only reason why I try getting a big return for our tax season or whatever is because 1, I don't want to owe. And then 2, if let's just say we do have a little bit of debt, we could use our tax return refund towards paying it all off and starting back to fresh 0 again.
Yeah.
Or investing in something else that could benefit our family where we could start making even more income. You know what I mean? Yeah. Versus with Dave Ramsey. And then not only that, we live below our means when we do that. Because why? They're taking out so much more taxes than they're supposed to. So in our mind, we're like, well, we only get paid X amount. So we need to live below those means. So we want them to take out as much taxes out of our paycheck because it's just habits. You know, the more money that I have, I'm more tempted to spend more. You know what I mean? I think that's just human, you know, being a human. You know what I mean? So if they take out as many taxes as possible, in our minds, we're like, oh, we're only making X amounts. We should live below that. Versus if they take out exactly, there's a good chance that maybe we'll break even on our taxes or we'll owe money. So not only are we not getting any money, now I'm going to have another tax bill. You know what I mean? So it's just certain things you got to think about. So for ours, we mark 0 for dependents, even though we do have dependents, because we want them to take out more taxes. And also we put married, but to charge the higher single rate. Because, again, there's a lot of things that go into play with that. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you from experience and from what I've learned and, you know. But if you're married and if you guys are both making incomes and you just put married and that's it, they're not going to take out enough taxes, and there's a good chance that you're going to owe at the end of the year. So always put married, charge at the higher single rate. Oh yeah, not always. Sorry, allegedly. I need to watch my words. Again, all for entertainment purposes.
I mean, if you can.
Yeah, if you can. Well. At least this is what we do. Because if we were to have put married, just married, and that's it, and if we were both making income or whatever, they're going to, once we reach a certain threshold, they're only going to take X amount out, and then there's a good chance we're going to owe at the end of the year because mathematically, how can I explain it? Like, what if you haven't filed for years?
I did file one.
I don't know. I've heard a story where some guy never filed, ever.
Yeah.
And the IRS has not gone to him. And his mentality, his thinking or theory is that
how are they going to know?
How are they going to know if he never started?
Yeah.
Which makes sense. How would
they know?
But
it's like, well.
Like he never triggered it. Like he never got a file in the IRS system because he never started it to begin with. He never opened that file.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it just makes you think like, dang. And it's been years. I think he said like 15 years. He never filed.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine if he were to
get
caught. But again, what if he's owed all this money and they do audit on him? They're like, here's your check of all the money we owe. But I mean, there's what do you call it? Statute of limitations and all that the IRS can't get you on. So there's so much. Yes, the IRS does blow. I'm not a pro advisor, entertainment only, allegedly. Yes. Yeah, accumulate your tax liability faster and you know you won't end up paying at the end of the year if you're single. Yes, exactly. I don't know. I don't like paying taxes. I don't. I rather them, well, at least when you do your taxes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to repossess my house and cars and garnish. Oops, I think I pushed something. I waved at somebody. Sorry.
Oh.
I don't know who I waved to. They're going to represent my house and garnishment.
I mean,
they're going to come after my scooter. No, seriously, in our scenario, if, things hit the fan or whatever, they can't garnish our cars. I mean, repossess our cars. Why? Because they're paid off. Yeah. So that's another perk of
paid off stuff.
Like, I'm not worried that one day, someone, and not only that, did you ever hear that they put like trackers on cars?
You mean LoJacks?
LoJacks on cars.
I always see them.
You always see them? Okay, hold on. Let me explain in case people don't know. They put LoJacks on people's cars that are like high risk when you buy a car from the dealership. Did you hear that? I didn't
know it was that.
If you're a high risk person that's getting a loan from the dealership, they put a tracker in your car.
I've seen them.
In order so that if once you fall behind on payments, they'll know exactly where your car is and they'll repo it.
As crazy as that sounds, if it's high risk and all that,
yeah,
I am very surprised they're not more sneaky about it.
Really? Why? Like where they put it?
Where I work, I've literally seen them right there on the battery. I'm like,
oh, shut up. What the heck is this? That's not obvious.
That is obvious. Yeah, because I'm changing the battery because the battery died, right?
Yeah.
And then those devices, they need 12 volts.
Yeah.
They install it right on the battery. So when I'm opening it, I'm like,
are you sure? This? Well, on my truck, they put it, I think, on my battery too, but I requested it.
The weird thing is that I've changed your battery and I've never seen a device like that.
Really?
Unless they're different.
Or it's somewhere. I know it's inside my hood.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember exactly where, because I remember when they put it on, but that was because I wanted a LoJack.
You could technically still get 12 volts from the main 12 volt battery, but through the wires, somewhere nice and neat where it's hidden. The companies that I don't even know which companies they are, but the cars that I've worked on that have the device, they're right there, like literally actually sitting on top of the battery. I'm like, the first time I saw it, I was like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
And, I have to disconnect it to connect the battery.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I reconnect it again because I'm like, first of all, I don't know if this is aftermarket. I don't know if this is like affecting the battery at all.
Yeah.
But I can't disconnect it and just leave it disconnected.
Right.
It's there for a reason. I put it back.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
But I didn't know
that's
it was because of high
smart
risk.
On a banking front because you want to protect your assets, right?
Yeah. If they don't pay back, you know exactly where they are and they go and pick it up.
Yeah. I read this story where this guy, he had put that, he found it. He's like, oh crap, there's a LoJack. And I guess he went on vacation to Brazil or something, and he went on a rental over there, and he just placed the LoJack on that rental. They're like, good luck finding it in Brazil.
Don't do it.
Oh, I thought that was funny. Yeah, don't do it. But yeah, I bought a car with LoJack. Thought it was in case it was stolen. I mean,
if you buy it, yours.
Like I bought it because in case my truck got stolen.
Yeah, it's like a package. Like she literally bought it. They literally said like, all right.
Yeah, and then I log in every time I move. I have to update the address just to make sure, Yeah. Talking about that, I need to update. I don't think I've updated it.
But it's never just like. When it moves, I don't even think you've changed your battery on it either.
I know. Oh my gosh, I need to update that.
We just get Apple tags if you want to.
I know, huh? Put Apple tag in the car.
Apple tag in it.
That's true. That's another LoJack way to go about it. A lot cheaper. Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah. So there's certain cars where if you're high risk when you buy the car, so let's just say you got a car at 16%, you're for sure high risk. Okay. You're a high risk. You shouldn't even be buying a car at 16%. I'm sorry. There's no freaking way. Anywho, there's probably a low jack on your car for sure. Just in case, you know, that one day you do miss that payment. The representatives.
They're ready.
They're ready. They're like, oh, she's at the gas station right now. Let's go get it. She's getting a Slurpee.
And they're crazy. They're sneaky. Some of them are regular trucks, but the equipment is on the bottom of the truck, and they just back up into it, lift it, and just take off.
That's insane.
It's like you literally think your car was stolen. I mean, of course, for someone to be like,
yeah,
oh no, it was repoed. Like, you know.
Yeah. It's crazy. It says in tractor trailers, they do that and hide it in different places in every one, so it's harder to find. Request the deals installed. Dang, see? It's stuff that, like, wow, like, people, like, don't know this stuff.
And we're not saying remove it. Come on.
Yeah.
We're just saying pay your bills.
Yeah, pay your bills. And
or don't buy it.
Pay cash.
Don't buy it used. Yeah, I mean, okay, don't buy it used. Don't buy it new.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to buy a used car as well, don't finance it. Just
don't finance it.
Buy a used car cash. I understand. You got to save money. You got to make sacrifices. What is it? Kids do what feels right at the moment. Adults hold off.
Yeah.
And wait.
It's like the trailer. We really wanted a trailer so bad, but we waited. Yeah. And that opportunity was right, and we had the financial means to pay it cash.
Which is crazy because, I mean, yes, we had the money, but it hurt us more eventually. Like, oh, dang, we're going to have to pay the taxes on it. We're going to pay the registration on it. It's like, you got to remember, there's still that as well. It's not just like, oh, you know, 10,000 is 10,000. No, it's going to be more.
Yeah. And then insurance on it too.
Insurance, yeah.
Yeah, everything it's just crazy. So I guess the moral of the story is, like, you're stuck with the debts. It's just finding the smart way to minimize the expenses. And like I said, shop around. Auto insurance, homeowners insurance, like, you could always shop around any time of the year, no matter when you got it or whatever. They're retro pay you back. They'll send you an extra check for the previous company. I've done it many times, guys, so it's doable.
Yeah.
That reduces your mortgage payment.
Your insurance on your car.
Your insurance in your car, bundle it. That's another perk to reducing your rates. And then just, you know, try getting everything, all your stuff that's like depreciating, try paying all that in cash. Pay it off as soon as you can. Like, you have extra money, don't be like, oh, I'm going to go on vacation in Hawaii. Like, no, like, I get it. It's awesome, you know, going on vacation and stuff, but, like, let's get your financial situation straight first, because you don't want to be a slave to the lender. Like, heck no. I don't want to be a slave to anybody. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I want to live stress-free, comfortable life where I don't have to worry as much as a person that owes this. Oh my God, they're doing layoffs right now. Now you're stressing even more. Like, why do you want to live like that? Like,
imagine right now, the kid that bought like
stay on my scooter.
Imagine the kid right now that bought like a brand new car.
Yeah.
And they just got they didn't even get told. They just saw the news, 99% or 99 cents only is closing down. It's like, oh, how am I going to pay my $600, $700 payment a month if I lose my job right now? It's scary.
So, I don't know. The way I see life now is, I was telling him, it's like I was playing this Fortnite game. I forgot which one it was, but basically the gist of the game is you have to keep building and buying stuff in order to produce more coins or whatever. And so you buy like one machine and it produces X coins very slow, you know, and then you buy
the cheap machine.
Yeah, the cheap machine. And then you have to wait it out, you know, until you get enough money. It takes forever until you have X amount of money to buy the next machine, which is a little bit faster, you know. But now you got two machines going on, you know, so you're making money from both. And then you start making more money where you buy this third machine where it goes even faster. So now you're making 3 incomes and it's super fast with this third machine, even though it costed a lot more money, but you got that money a lot faster. And you just keep doing that. That's the moral of the game. It gets very addicting. But that's the way I see life now financially. At least that's the phase that we're in right now, is we want to invest in things that will make us money, even if it's slow right now, and keep investing in things that will go faster and faster for us to make money to the point where we can make income passively. That's how I see life. So like, for instance, in my business, I started off with, I have a wood business. I started off with a CNC machine. It costed X amount of money compared to my laser, and it does the job. It does amazing and everything. But then I saw this laser machine that basically I could do the same jobs in a sense, but it was a lot more pricier, but I'm able to bust out a lot more jobs with that machine compared to my CNC, and less expenses on that one, even though the original cost on that machine was a lot higher compared to my CNC machine. And we invested in that machine, again, cash, because it's going to help us produce more income faster, more efficiently, and it's just better overall. But that's the one thing that I had to do first, is one, buy my CNC machine because it was cheaper. It did the job I wanted. It took me time to get that paid off completely. And then once that was paid off and I made enough income to pay for my laser machine cash, now I'm able to make even more income faster by investing in something that was more expensive, but yeah, it's pushing out money faster. So we're going to continue doing that, investing in things in order for us to potentially make more income faster, more efficiently. But again, it's a process. So that's how I always remember that Fortnite game. It's like, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to make your money work for you. You know, you don't want to invest in things such as new cars, stuff like that, that depreciate, because how is that money working for you? If anything, you're putting more money into registration, more money into insurance, more money possibly in gas, maybe not. I don't know. It depends what kind of car you got. Interest for the loan. I mean, those are things that you're throwing money in, where instead of putting your money, investing your money in a car that's depreciating, you should be investing in things that's going to make you money. And it could be like little things like switching from a regular savings account from a major bank to another bank where you get a high yield interest. And it's super easy to do. That was one thing that we just changed just recently. For years, we had a checking and savings account, and the rate of return on our savings was super low. I've always heard of CDs and stuff like that where you could get a higher interest rate, but they lock your money away for like a year minimum, for example. I didn't want my money locked. I want to have access to it in case there's an emergency. So that's why I never looked into it. But in this case, there's high yield savings accounts where the interest return rate right now, it's like 4.5%. And instead of gaining like a penny or two on this other financial institution, you could be gaining like $20 or more each month for just having money sitting there. You know what I mean? Like, it's just about placing your money where you could get returns from. Another thing that you could do to save money too, I'm not sure if you guys hear this a lot from fast food places. They always say like, oh, do you want to round up and donate your money to X charity? What I do is, with my financial institution, is with your checkings account, there's an option where you could do the exact same thing, but instead of it going to like a charity, it's going directly into your savings account. So whenever I'm out eating, I'm paying for gas or whatever the scenario is, it always rounds up. So let's just say I spent something $1.01. It rounds up to the next dollar. So that 99 cents goes automatically into my savings account. And I don't even notice it that they do it, you know, and next thing I notice, my savings account has all this extra money because I've been using my card a lot. and it automatically put it in my savings account, and I didn't even realize it, just different things that you could do that you could save money, and it's just habits. You know what I mean? There's just things that we do that we tend to overspend, and these are ways that you could go around it so that you don't overspend, or you could get yourself in a better financial situation. Trying to think of other things that we haven't talked about. Oh, another thing I used to do too, when I would if your work offers direct deposit, that's another thing that you could do is split up your direct deposit. Some jobs let you split up your direct deposit. So what I did is I would do a percentage. Like, I can't remember what percentage I had it because I'm not working for an employer anymore. I'm self-employed. But when I did work for an employer, I would set a percentage, like, let's just throw a percentage out there. Like 95% will go into my checkings account, and the other 5% will be allocated to a specific savings account. So each time I got my paycheck, I would never see the money that goes into my savings account because I would just put it like out of sight, out of mind. So that will be another way for you to save money, is put a small percentage into a separate account that you don't touch, that you don't even look at. That way, in case there's an emergency, like for us, our main water line broke, and we need to use funds, obviously, to pay for that. And we didn't even feel it because, obviously we didn't feel it because the neighbor helped us. But, we were willing to pay him and everything, and it wasn't going to hurt us because we had savings. And that should be the financial situation that most people should feel, as long as you have your emergency fund set up. And it's really hard to get that set up when you do already have a lot of debts. So, quotable quote, life is like a game of Fortnite, allegedly. It is, I swear. The things I start overanalyzing. I'm like, wow, this game has taught me a lot about financial wisdom.
We're not saying that's the only way of learning, though.
I know. Allegedly. But yeah, it's like, we got to start thinking that way. We got to stop thinking like, oh, we bring home a paycheck and it's just to, pay our bills and, have a good time, eat out today or go on a vacation. Like, we need to stop having that mentality and start thinking about, retirement or like our future, or if you have kids, your future kids, are you setting up your kids for a better financial, situation than what you grew up in or what your parents grew up in? Like, let's be wiser with our money. And
we're not saying like, oh, completely stop eating out, completely stop going to vacations, still eat out, like completely stop all that. Like, no, just be wise with it. Change your habits. Like, don't live like, oh, I don't have any money, whatever, I'm just gonna pay for it. Or could I afford the amount, or could I afford the payment? I could afford the payment and just get a loan on it. Like, no, just be smart with it. Because I mean, I could go, let's just say, oh, you're holding off, like, you're delaying gratification.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're never going to go somewhere. Like, you could go. We're not saying go when you're 80. No, we're not saying like that. But, I mean, you just got to be smart with it.
Yeah. It's like, okay, like right now I'm trying to, exercise again and try losing some weight because I weigh more than I typically on average do. And it's bugging me. Like, my clothes are not fitting me, yada, 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 right? Anywho, and I saw this guy that said, he was like a motivational speaker. I don't know what. But pretty much he was saying, like, next time you see that burger or whatever, like something that's very, very unhealthy or whatever, grab your freaking stomach and pinch it and tell yourself, is this what you want? Is this? And you know what? That kind of like woke up for me. Like, I made Jenna some ice cream with some bananas and strawberries, and she didn't want to finish it anymore. Like, she was done. And I'm like, man, I don't want to throw it away. Should I eat it? And right away, I grabbed my stomach. I was like, no, I don't want this no more. So I went and told Jason, I'm like, Jason, can you finish this, please? He's like, yeah, I'll take it. I'm like, you're so skinny. Like, you burn it off all quick. You're young. But I think that's the same mentality that we have to do financially, is, you know, at that moment, you know, you want to spend the money because you want instant gratification or whatever the scenario, but you have to rethink like, do I really want, or like, what is your goal? Like, is your goal to be financially free from your credit cards by X date, or I want to buy this by X date or whatever? Like, remember that when you want to go and splurge, be like, no, if I save this money, I could apply that. Instead of splurging on this, I could apply it to this instead. Yeah. So that way you could get whatever you were really working for sooner. I am not grabbing my stomach even that moment time. Seriously. No, seriously. I mean, right now it's working for me. I'm just grabbing my stomach and I'm like, nope, I can't eat that ice cream. Nope, I can't. Like right now I'm doing, you know, slow and steady, but like, you know, it's so hard losing weight. Yeah. But I just have to have that mentality where I can't just cave into my urges. My urges. Yeah, it's hard. It's so hard. Yeah. And just financially, it's just habits too. It's everything is habits. Yeah. And it's so hard to change habits, but it's doable. It's not impossible. Yeah. It's just it's your mind. It's all mind games, guys. Who's best at playing chess, I guess you would say. And sometimes Google is your friend trying to find, you know, loopholes and things. Like, shoot. Yeah. I think I went on a rampage here.
Is that it then?
I don't know. Is that all you guys want to talk about? We pretty much talk about mortgages, how to reduce your mortgage payment, how to reduce your auto insurance, gain good coverages. Yeah. Talked about property taxes, where you live. I'm still tripping out about the whole property tax thing. Same city, and like it'll be like $4,000 more a year for just living down the block. Like, yeah. I don't know. Rolling to the nearest dollar from your checking to savings as a way to saving money, splitting your direct deposit, balance transfers, payment holidays, payment deferments. There were some more things I wanted to talk about, but yeah, it's been like way too long talking.
Ice cream, taxes, and scooters.
Yes, and grabbing your tummy. Seriously. I can't wait for that moment where I try grabbing my stomach and I can't grab it. Oh, I can't wait. It's doable, guys. It's doable. I don't know. What else do you guys want to talk about, or is this it?
Might be it. We're going on 2 hours. Oh, it's going to probably cancel again.
Is it? Yeah. We need to do this more often then, because we've been lagging it big time.
We have.
Yeah. Goals. Yeah. We're trying, guys. We're trying. And that's the whole mentality I've always told Edgar and Mike. I always want to find like a mentor or somebody that I could look up that could teach me the ways. And then I started thinking to myself, like, why can't I be my own mentor, so to say? You know what I mean? Like, could I be the one that sets the example? Like, why do we keep telling ourselves that we can't be someone? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you always try looking up to somebody else. Why can't you look up to yourself and be proud of that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure if I'm making any sense here, but I don't know.
That's where you're talking, and I'm not.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I guess my mentality has changed a lot over the years and experiences that have happened, and like, yeah, some crazy stuff that I still can't believe I lived through, but yeah. All right, then. So that's it, guys. If you guys are barely tuning in, feel free to listen to our podcast. We're going to upload these two for now, but we're going to edit the one for YouTube. That's a lot nicer. And we'll probably upload that later in the week on YouTube. But in the meantime, you can listen to this whole part 1 and part 2 on Instagram on our page. So thanks for listening. Hope you guys got some tips, financial advice here. I feel like there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't know that we covered, which is nice to get different perspectives. Yeah. Any other things you want us to talk about, or you guys want us to elaborate more on, or
just message us too.
Yeah, message us, DM us, whatever. Yeah. All right, guys.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Thanks. Bye.